I know it was. I knew you were going to have a wonderful time. I said, "Oh, she has the bug now."
Yes, I do.
Good, good, good. Okay, well, I will not delay. Again, thank you all for tuning in. I hope that you will be enlightened, inspired, and excited about what you will learn tonight. And I'm sharing this because people are always asking me, how can you afford to go like you go? And how can you, and that's a reasonable question. And let me stop share just for a minute. It's a reasonable question because sometimes when you check airline flights and things like that, they can be, intimidating. You're like, what? $800 for, oh no, I'm not going. So I have been doing this for many years, but I have really focused in on this since 2015, 2011, when I started doing a lot of solo traveling. And so I would just kind of watch the trends, right? And I'm like, wait a minute, there's a pattern to all of this because it seems like every time that I thought about booking a flight at the beginning of the year, I'm already thinking about where I want to go. I'm like, man, these tickets are cheap. And so I conducted some research, and it is a statistical fact that January, February are your deep discounted ticket times because the airlines are trying to sell or get rid of all those winter tickets that they projected to sell that they did not sell. Okay. But the closer you get to March, the ticket prices go up because now you're getting the spring break, summer travel, and I'm going to speak more to that. So put a pin right there, okay? So now I'm just going to show you some examples of some trips that I have taken, and you're not going to believe it, but it's true. And the cost. And I'll even tell you about the time frame. Okay, so here we go. It's not advancing, so I'm probably going to have to, yeah, oh well. Okay, I'll probably just have to go slide to slide. It's not advancing for some reason. Okay, so we'll just have to do it like this, guys. All right. So I am going to talk about the importance of preparedness, but that'll be much later. So right now, I'm just going to focus in on the trip cost and what it costs me. And I wish I could see your miles dropping. So here we go. So back in 2023, this is when I just really started kind of capturing numbers and going, there's something to this, right? My sister and I traveled from Houston to Barcelona. We went to Portugal, Prague, Greece, and back to the United States for $1,000, including the lodging, and we were gone for 3 weeks. $1,000, 3 weeks, flights and lodging. 2024, 2025, we went back to Barcelona because the tickets were so cheap. And then there are some other things that I wanted to see that I did not see the first go around. We flew from Barcelona to Denmark, Denmark to Sweden. We went to Poland, Italy, London. These were our flights, our lodging, and our Eurail tickets for 3 weeks, $1,450. It would cost you about $1,000 if you just went in, let's say next week or 2 weeks from now, maybe even, I don't know. I was looking last night, and flights from here to London were $765. But we're talking about round trip, including, again, the lodging, the Eurail, and the flights. This past December to January, I went to Rome. Then I went to Cairo, Alexandria, and we're talking about in Egypt. Flew to Ethiopia, went to another town that I just can't remember the name of it, took a flight to Lalibela, including the lodging, $1,600. Let that resonate. My granddaughter said she wanted to go to Japan and Korea. So I called my son and I said, listen, send the money now because the tickets are deeply discounted. So for us to fly from Houston to Tokyo, Tokyo to Seoul, from Seoul, Korea, back to Houston, $1,007 per person. December 2026, Houston to Bangkok. Now, let me explain. I could not fly direct from Bangkok to this little city where I'm going to be doing some mission work, right? So I had to fly to another larger airport and then to the smaller airport to where I'll be working. But from Houston to Bangkok, Bangkok to Chennai, and then to the local airport. Then I'm going on to Sri Lanka, which is a whole nother country. I'll fly back to India to the West Coast this time because all of this is on the East Coast. So I'll fly to the West Coast and then I'll go to Mumbai, formerly Bombay. From Mumbai, I'm going to go to Calcutta, which is where Mother Teresa was. So I want to see the orphanage and all of that. And then I'll fly from Calcutta to New Delhi to go see the Taj Mahal and some other things. And then back from New Delhi to Houston, $1,536. And guys, that's for a month of travel. 1 month, not a week, not 2 weeks, 1 month, 1,536. So, as I said earlier, your airline prices typically drop during off-peak non-holiday periods in January, February, late August, September. And I'm not talking about going in September and say, oh, I'm going to book something for Labor Day. You have to start like at the end of July looking, or even in June looking for September. If you wait until Labor Day week or whatever, those tickets are going to be doubled or tripled unless an airline has tickets that they just absolutely must get rid of, right? They're trying to sell those seats. That happened to me last year. I was just novicing around because I like to novice around on different sites. And Just Fly had a ticket from Houston to Mexico City each way for $50. And I just saw, before coming on, a round trip ticket to Los Angeles for $86. You can't beat that. $86. Okay? So I'm going to put a pin here because you all can read. And as you okay, can you mute yourselves? So you all can read this, and I want to add something to this. So what I do is whenever I return from vacation, like in January, I immediately start looking for tickets for my next vacation. I already know where I'm going, and I've already priced it up to that point. I'm like, I saw that ticket for $380 to fly from here to Singapore. Today is $500. They're going to drop it, so I'll just keep watching. And so I'll go in or set the little tickler on the site, and boom, like I got that notification about Houston to LA round trip for $86. It'll pop up in my email, and I'm like, you can't beat it, right? So I'm not even stressing about that. I know that it's going to come around again, because I've been watching and doing this for so many years, and it does. And when it comes up, I snatch it up. All right, so I hope everybody has this. If not, I can come back to it. But this is real talk. And this isn't just something that's in print, it's something that I have been doing for a while. And like I said, when people ask and I say, hey, I start early. And I don't even try to book round trip. Like some people go in and they'll say, okay, I'm going to buy my round trip ticket to, let's say, Singapore. If I'm going round trip, and if I'm going to go that far, that's a 24-hour flight, I'm taking it 23 hours, I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm not just going to do that. So I may do a one-way there, and then a one-way to Thailand, and then a one-way to Vietnam, just to maximize the money that I'm spending. And I'll give an example. I'll show you more about that in just a minute. Okay, now here's some additional uh, information about the booking window. So take a picture of this or write it down. Those domestic flights, and I'm talking about in the US, 1 to 3 months before departure, your best ticket prices are going to be the 3 months out. But again, however, like I said, sometimes when the airlines don't sell the tickets that they projected to sell, they'll have flash sales, and those sales don't last a week or whatever. They may be 24 hours, they may be 2 hours, or they may be until they sell out, So that may be an hour. So it's just, excuse me, a matter of you going in and again setting that little tickler so you can receive the email saying, hey, that ticket just dropped to whatever amount, right? And then be prepared to purchase it. And I'm going to talk more about setting your vacation time or your travel time in a minute, but I want to plug this in. Sometimes, and I know if you're working, a 40-hour week job or whatever, you don't have the flexibility. You do have to go in and say, hey, I want to be on vacation the 1st through the 14th or whatever. But for those of you who have more flexibility, I plan my vacations around the deep discounted days. So let's say hypothetically, I want to fly the 1st through the 14th. But if I go in and I see that the ticket, I'll just make up something, this ticket to Turks and Caicos on the 1st is $800, but on the 3rd, it's $400. I can shift my travel window to fly out on the 3rd. Instead of taking those 2 days on the front end, I can tack those on to the back to still get my full 2 weeks of vacation. Because somewhere in there, 7 days, 8 days away from there, they're going to have another sale price, that going out and that coming in. And so you just have to watch it. Okay. All right. So I'll move from this. And if anybody needs me to come back, I will. Now, my go-to online travel agencies are JustFly, Kiwi, Kayak, and Skyscanner. And there are others, Expedia, Travelocity, Hotwire. I have not had good success with those in terms of the prices. But I will say that Expedia is more expansive in terms of including those smaller airports and smaller airlines. And I've noticed that about them. So every now and then I'll have to go in to if like a connecting flight and use Expedia. But sometimes if JustFly doesn't have it, that means that my travel dates are too early for them to post it. And so I'll wait. But if I go to Expedia and I see it, that gives me an idea of what that cost will be. And so now I know if I'm flying Ethiopian Airlines and it's a domestic Ethiopian flight, those tickets are going to be the same price. Those are not those tickets that drop up and down because they're feeding, the country, the inner region. But if it's an international flight, those flights are the ones that are really going to drop. So they make their money on what they call the express flights, like Houston to Dallas. You have your Southwest, Houston, Dallas, back and forth. Some of your other countries have flights that only go to specific regions within that country. And so you can just bet that those are going to remain the same because again, that's all that they do. But those international flights are the ones that change. The best days to book are Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And that's just not me talking, that is statistics. I have gotten some of the best deals. Why? Because on Monday is closing out the weekend for weekend travel, or people coming back from business trips or even flying out on business trips. So they're trying to close their books on Monday. And so they're slashing those prices on Tuesdays and Wednesdays because they want people to travel again Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? So Tuesdays and Wednesdays, sometimes even early in the morning, you can catch some really good deals, and all day, sometimes on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, it just depends. So I want to make that clear. Using their apps too, like JustFly, Kiwi, Kayak, Skyscanner. I was on Kiwi and I was booking the flight from Korea back to Houston. I was actually on my computer and the price showed up as whatever the price was, right? And then I received a notification because I created an account with them. And they said, if you book this on your mobile app, we will take off another $30. So I downloaded the app, and sure enough, $30. Same thing happened with Just Fly. If you book this on your mobile app, we'll take off another $25. Sure enough, they did. Skyscanner, same thing. So put the apps on your phone. It doesn't mean you have to keep them, but if they're offering you a discount because of that, and I will say this, there are some things that flash on those apps that you may not see on your computer. Like I posted the Bahama trip and things like that. It popped up on my phone, but when I went in my computer, I didn't see it on my screen. So I'm noticing that too, that there are some things that they will send out to the mobile, to your mobile phones that they don't necessarily put online for people who are using their computers. All right. So this is what you look for when you go in and you're doing a search on one of those online travel agencies. Your pink days are going to be your most expensive days. Your orange or yellows, those are your second most expensive. Your green, those are going to be your sale prices. And so I look for the green, right? But that does not mean that the green all the way across is going to be the same price. Because on Tuesday and Wednesday, hypothetically, if I'm flying to Los Angeles, this Tuesday price may be one way for $50. I may go to Thursday and that price may be $65, which is still good, right?
Mhm.
Friday, it may be 70, and then Saturday it may be 70. So when you see this, you just press on them, look to see what it is. You have to play with it and then say, oh, wow, man, that's $75 cheaper if I go on Tuesday. Yeah, I think I can do that. And so you go in and you book your travels. Okay. So when you go in, just play with the numbers. If it's not in green, it's like, look, I have to be there on this day. So be it. Every time is not a win-win. But I can say that I've had more wins than not by going in and just visiting these sites. And I'll go from site to site while I'm thinking about it. I've noticed that um, the sites, let's say Just Fly has a ticket from here to Sweden for $475. I'll go over to Kiwi and enter that same information, and Kiwi may be $383. So I noticed that the ticket sales, they rotate, right? I don't know if that's strategic, but I see it where one site, same day, it may be the same airline, the same time. It may be $300 more than the other travel agency, right? So you have to go in. And like I said, those sites that I mentioned are my go-tos. And let me plug this in. What I like about Skyscanner too, I'm digressing, is if I'm on Google and I want to go to a particular place, let's say I want to go to Fiji, I can say Skyscanner Fiji tickets, and it will take me to, when I go into that link, I don't have to worry about entering information. All I do is plug my dates in, boom, it takes me to the specific, I'm sorry, let me correct that. If I say Skyscanner, Fiji, and I'm just making up an airline, right? Let's just say United. It takes me directly to all of the United flights that are going to Fiji. And then I go in and I select my dates and I'm looking at this, right? And so I see the green, I'll press and I'm like, what? Yeah, let me get this one. So I don't have to muddle through a bunch of airlines if I know the airline that I want to fly. Now, if your airline doesn't travel there, it will say no flights. It doesn't mean that there aren't any airlines that fly to that region. What it means is your airline does not fly to that region. So now I need to come out and just do a basic search and let it show me which airlines fly to wherever I'm going. On that note, as it's showing you, right? Because it'll say United, Spirit, American, you know how it works, right? That does not mean that the price that is showing you for that airline is the drop dead end, the bottom line price. So if I see over to the left where it's showing me the airline, I will go directly to that airline website to see if that ticket is further reduced. And on occasion, it is. Not as often as I would hope for, but sometimes it is. For instance, Japan has an airline and it's Zip Air. So I was on Just Fly. And so the ticket to, I think it was Taiwan, was one way, let's say $500. I went directly to their website. That same ticket was $250. So, so when they show you the airlines, you just write them down and then just go to the airline's website to see what their price is. Typically, your engines like Kiwi, Kayak, they're going to be cheaper, but not all the time. So keep that in mind. And again, it's just, you get into the habit of doing it. And it's a game, so to speak, but you go in there and you know what you're looking for, you know how to search through the airlines, and it's like, I like that price. And this is such and so airline. Oh, their reviews are good. Yeah, I want that airline. So if you all have any questions, just write them down at the end and then I'll answer them. So I hope that this is clear. All right, now Just Fly. This is like Kiwi and Kayak. I think it's Just Fly that looks like this. And so if I go in and plug in my dates, it's going to give you the price of the flight on these particular days, which I love because then I can go in and say, man, that one-way flight to China is only $252 on the 16th. Yeah, I'm going to fly it on the 16th. When's the next cheapest flight coming back? Looks like 293. Oh, I can stay an extra week or so. It's 292. Nah, maybe I need to come home. You just think about those kinds of things. And so then you select your dates, and then of course, then it takes you to the cost. And sometimes you're thinking in your head, well, if I fly it on the 9th and come back on the 16th, that's $500. Sometimes when you enter it in, it will drop even further, right? So you just have to kind of play with it and watch those numbers drop. Sometimes it's consistent. You may decide to change your travel month or whatever, but this is what you do to get those deep discounted tickets. All right, international and domestic carriers. I hear people say a lot, well, if it's not United, I'm not flying. If it's not American, I'm not flying. Well, there's something called the Star Alliance. And what that means is there's an agreement between the airlines that only the American, I'm talking about the ones that are here, can go so far to particular countries, allowing other country airlines to also get in on the money making. So if I want to fly to Kenya, United may go there. I don't think they do, but chances are United is going to take me to Amsterdam. And then from Amsterdam, I'm going to catch Kenyan Airways or Turkish Airlines or Ethiopian Airlines that's going to take me to Kenya, right? And so we have to get out of the mindset that United, American, and some of the others that they're going to take me all the way. They're not. They're in partnership with the people that are the airlines that are in this Star Alliance. And so they share the leg. Every now and then you will get a direct flight. Like United does fly to Japan, it does fly to Korea or whatever, but that is not the case all the time. So keep that in mind as you're booking. And when you're booking, you're not just going to get the United piece. You're going to get the United, you're going to get Ethiopian, and it's going to carry you the rest of the way, right? So it's a complete package when you're booking that flight. All right, so I've said all of this. Let me go to the European airlines. Now, I learned this a long time ago, and I love these airlines. And this should actually be, there we go. All right. So I'll tell you a little bit about Wizz Air. I did a search for a direct flight from Houston to Cairo, and I think it was 800 and something dollars. And I said, and that was one way. I said, never. So I broke it up. I flew from Houston to New York for $70, from New York to Rome for $199, Norse Airlines. And then Wizz Air took me from Rome to Cairo for $69. So somebody do the math on that. $70, $199, and $69. What is that? It's a whole lot less than 800 and something dollars. We know that, right?
Mhm.
And right now, Wizz Air has a flight from Rome to Malta for $19.99. If you are a member, if you're not, $29.99. So if I fly from Houston to New York, and I've shown you all the sales for $50, and then I take another flight from North Atlantic Airlines for, let's say, $200, that's $250. And then $30 from there to Malta, that's $280 for me to fly from Houston to Malta, which is in the Mediterranean Sea. And then another $280 to get back. What is it, $560 versus $1,000? You just
Mhm.
saved yourself a ton of money. I flew from Turkey to London for $50 on Vueling. I went from Italy to Ireland for $12.50 on Ryanair. I went from France, I think, to Brussels on KLM for $40. So I said that to say this. If you are planning a European trip, and again, you know your schedule, but I'm saying to maximize your stay. To me, I would not stay less than 2 weeks, because if I can fly that cheaply to another country instead of having to come back to the US and spend another thousand or so dollars to buy another round trip ticket to go there, it's worth it to maximize your stay that way. Even a train ticket through Eurail or OMIO, I think, even a bus ticket is so cheap, and the countries, are connected. So you can go from one country to the other and see 3 or 4 countries for the price of one. So when I'm talking to people and they're saying, "Oh, I can go with you, but I can only stay a week," and I'm like, "Stay home." By the time you get there, you'll be a little jet lagged. You need time to recover. Just stay home. If you can take 2 weeks, that's better. But you know your schedule. So I'm just saying that, right? So you'll know. KLM always runs some really good sales if you go directly to their website. Same thing with Brussels Air. And these are just a few. So I just wanted you to know that if all you have to do is get to Europe. If I fly to London, I can take the train everywhere else and then take the train back to London and fly home. The only part of Europe proper, and I'm not talking about Turkey or, like the Asian part, Turkey and Russia and all that stuff. The only part of mid and Western Europe that is not connected to the train is Portugal. And so you have to fly there. But they have an airlines, Portugal Airline or TAP. That's TAP. Still cheap. When we flew from here to Barcelona, it was on the Portugal Airlines. It was only $187. Okay. Be aware of scams. Again, the sites that I mentioned, those are, again, my go-tos. There are so many pop-up travel agencies online, and they will scam you. I've been scammed one time, and that was enough for me, because the ticket price was so good. I was like, wow, this is great. So if it's too good to be true, and it probably is. So be careful. That's why I always go to the same sites, because they have proven themselves time and time again. So if you do see something that's too good to be true, check the Better Business Bureau, go to Trustpilot, TripAdvisor. You can do all that online. The International Air Transportation Association, and check out that company, and they will let you know, no, they're phonies. Don't spend your money. check their physical address, call the numbers listed, and for sure, check the online reviews. I didn't think about it until after the fact. And everybody was saying, no, it's a scam. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. After the fact. And thank God it wasn't that much money. But the fact of the matter is, I was waiting for that ticket to come so that I could go somewhere. And then I had to wind up buying another ticket and I never got my money back. So I can't stress this enough. Be aware of scams. These pop-up sites, you check them out first. And if it means paying a little bit more on a reputable site where you know you're going to get your ticket, do it. It's worth it. It will save you the headache because you'll keep calling and calling and they will ignore you. And then by that time, you're so mad you don't want to go on vacation. All right. So somebody asked me one time about where I lodge and things like that. And if you know me, you know I've been in some pretty rural areas, right? And so they're not always 5-star, 4-star, not even sometimes 2-star accommodations. But I stay where it is safe. I try to schedule myself near tourist attractions so I won't spend a lot of money on transportation. I enjoy hostels. I have stayed at some fabulous hostels, and they're like dorms, right? And people think that, oh no, I don't want to share with anybody. It's not like that at all. I mean, my sister was on the top bunk, I was on the bottom bunk. Somebody else was from Sweden was on another bunk. We had our own lockers where you can lock your things up. It was beautiful. And the hostels, even like the top ones, were running about $7 a night. It depends on where you are, though. It depends on where you are. We've stayed in hostels where they only had 2 beds. And so my sister and I got to stay together. And it was like $11 a night, our own bathroom, everything. So do your due diligence. Don't discount it because it says hostels. Hostels mean different things in different regions. It may mean a room for two at $11 a night. And because it's $11 a night, some people think, oh, it's cheap, it must be low end. Absolutely not. You have to think about what the currency conversion is. So if I'm paying 11 US dollars, let's just say I'm in Ethiopia, where I think their 16 cents of our dollar was equal to 100 of their dollars. Now it has a whole different connotation, doesn't it? So if I'm paying $11 US, think about that. 16 cents of our dollar was equal to 100 of their dollars, which means that the cost of living was really bad. So they were happy to get that $11. And I mean, they went out of their way to make sure we had concierge service. Oh, you don't have to go out for anything. We'll bring it. You want to order some food? We'll go pick it up. Oh, you need water? We'll bring it. So again, you have to do your due diligence and just don't discount it because of the name. I love hotels.com. I love them more when they were giving you one free night if you stayed 5 or whatever it was. Now they're giving you money discounts, which is still okay. And so as you're staying and you're booking, then you're accumulating or accruing these coins, is what they call them. And let me say this too while I'm thinking about it. Even on Kayak, you accumulate coins. And so as you book flights, they'll show you, oh, you have this many coins. Do you want to apply this to this trip or do you want to apply it to another trip? And that, again, that's one of the benefits of using your mobile app. And so I'm just watching my little coins go up because I'm going to use those this summer. And Hostel World, I love Hostel World because you get to read all of the reviews, all of the pictures of the hostels, where their locations are, check out the amenities. Something I learned this last vacation is at most, I'm going to say 90% of the hotels in Ethiopia, they do not have AC. Why? Because they live in a temperate zone. Even being there in December, it was just like spring. But we're used to, AC, and those people at that hotel, that particular hotel, we were talking about us just needing the AC, and it wasn't bad, don't get me wrong. They went out and bought us a fan and it worked, in terms of keeping the room cold because at night the temperature would drop just really low. And so you had all of that cold air coming in. They didn't have to do that, but they were trying to make us happy, and they did. All right, I think we're all familiar with Airbnbs. Uh, there are apartments that you can rent if you're going to do a long stay somewhere. I had a friend who spent a month just in Seville, Spain, and she rented an apartment for her and her family. You can use Furnish Finders, which is also an apartment locator, and they furnish apartments like for people who are going there to work, or if you just want to go and stay for an extended period of time, you can use that site. Okay. So what to look for in lodging? Definitely safety. I told a friend when I booked this hotel in Cairo, she had called a friend of hers who lived in Cairo, and he was saying, "Oh, that's a bad part of town. You don't want to stay there, and all that stuff." And I said, "We're staying there. We're going to be in the thick of it, and I want to be near the pyramids and so on and so forth." That was the best time. Nobody bothered us. We could walk the streets at night, going to the store or whatever to see the sights. And she said to me at the end, she said, "You know what I learned?" I said, "What?" She said, "I learned not to listen to everybody. Everybody has their standards, right? And if I'm upscale or if I'm, bougie or whatever, I'm gonna say, oh, don't stay on that side of town." But there was no crime. People were helpful, and we were just in walking distance of the pyramids. And actually, we were in Old Babylon. And so even the people at the hotel were just super nice, just bent over backwards to help us. And so just be mindful of that. You can do your research. If you find a place, run the zip code, type in safety in zip code such and so, and you can read about how many, whether there are, what do they call those people? Not shoplifters, people who steal your wallets and stuff, that kind of stuff. And they'll tell you all about that, right? And then you make your own decision about that. I like being close to transportation because I love using subways, the buses, to be able to walk out of where I'm staying or maybe walk down the street and catch the subway. Yeah, because trying to use Uber and Lyft and some of the other local like taxi services, it gets expensive. And so everything is in English. And then you can use the GPS app on your phone. So if it costs me, let's say $15 to have a subway card that I can use the duration of when I'm in Europe, it's worth it. I've saved a ton of money. I also look for free breakfast. So as I'm booking, if I'm staying at a hostel or a hotel, I'm looking for the free breakfast. That saves a ton of money. If you're driving, you want free parking. Parking is ridiculous, $40 and $50 a night. That is ridiculous. Some hotels, depending on where you are, and the last hotel that we stayed in, or next to the last in Lalibela in Ethiopia, we went through a whole lot of toilet paper. Why? Because, and we asked for a lot, they don't use toilet paper like that. If you urinate, you've seen them, you wash yourself off, and then you blot yourself or dry yourself off with a towel, but that's not what we do here. Every time we urinate or defecate, and not saying they don't do it when they defecate, but when they urinate, they use the water and a towel. But every time we urinate or defecate, we were reaching for some toilet paper because that's what we're used to here. And so just, you may want to check that out or take a couple of rolls in your bag or maybe some wipes. Again, it just depends where you're going. Excuse me, I'm sorry, my allergies are acting up. Something else too, if you're brave enough to try a hostel, make sure that you are not staying in one that has co-ed lodging. Ha ha. I didn't think about that when my sister and I were wherever we were, Sweden or somewhere. And we were in our room and we were just talking, right? And we see this like 6'5" figure walk in. I didn't think anything of it because, again, I wasn't expecting it, but depending on where you are in Europe, it's kind of the thing unless you select an all-female dorm. but my sister was in the bunk, on top of mine. And I saw her head come down like this, and she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her. She starts texting me from her phone. And I said, yes, I saw. She said, that's a man. And I said, yeah, it is a man. And she sat up. She said, excuse me, are you in the right place? And he's talking so nice to her. And she said, no, 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 no. This is a girl's dorm. And he said, no, the people downstairs told me that this was a shared dorm. And she kept talking to him. He finally packed up his stuff and he left. Well, we didn't read the fine print. It was that particular suite was a shared co-ed dorm. And he left. And we never had anybody else to come. It was just us. But that was just one of those experiences. And we weren't afraid because he came in trying to get him some sleep. And we didn't know he was coming and he didn't know that we were there. But they fixed it right away and we just continue to get our rest. So as I said, we use public transportation, rail passes, your light rail, buses. Every now and then you may use Uber, subway passes. Download the Maps app on your phone, right? You can use that GPS tool if you're doing a lot of walking around. And I would encourage it. Get out, get some exercise because a lot of the tourist sites are close together. And if they're not, you can hop on the bus. My sister and I did it. We'd hop on the bus and ride from the Coliseum, and then we ride over to something else. And half the time we didn't pay because they'd be so crowded. We'd be hanging out the back door like everybody else, and we just got on and got off. But if it was a situation where we could get to the front, we always used our pass. So I don't want anybody to think that we were doing anything illegal. You just couldn't get to the front. All right, and then learn how to read a map. Know north from south, east from west, and you can download tourist maps before you even leave the U.S. You can download them and just kind of practice like, oh, I see, and start circling. This is where we want to go. Now, where is this in proximity to where I will be residing? And then what rail do we have to take to get there? I know we have a lot of fears about getting lost. I've been lost so many times, but it was such a wonderful loss because I just looked up on my phone and asked somebody, hey, where is so and so? Oh, go down, turn to the right. And I just kept walking and made it to my destination. But we panic. Oh my God, I got off on the wrong train. Well, get back on it. The train map or the rail map is there. Maybe you get off at the next stop, or you go back to the hub and ask someone. They speak English, so don't worry about that. Just go and have fun. And here's a copy of that map. It looks very detailed, right? But if you know that all I need to do is take the red line from my hotel all the way, and it's going to take me to the Coliseum, I can't see that I'm just making up something. Then all I have to do is take the red line. I don't have to get off anywhere. And when it says Coliseum, I get off. If I want to go, if I'm in Greece and I want to go see the I forgot what you call that. But anyway, if I want to go see to the museum, the National Museum, if I'm on the yellow line, then I know if I'm here on the red line, I'm going to take the red line down and I'm going to transfer to the yellow line. And the yellow line is going to take me to the National Museum. It's so simple. If I want to go to, I don't know, I'm just making up something again. I want to go to the zoo. If the zoo is on the green line, then I'm going to take my red line from my hotel. I'm going to transfer here to the white line or the white, it'll say white line. I'm going to go to the green line. You'll see it. And I'm going to ride the green line all the way to the zoo and then get off. And then I'm going to ride it all the way back, get off at the white, or maybe even I'll just change to the red right here, right? And just go back. You cannot get lost. You cannot. It's so simple. And I'm just using my pass the whole time, right? Okay. This is free. Don't miss this. You don't have to spend a ton of money or any money on excursions. You can go on free excursions. Guru Walk, freetours.com, International Greeter Association, Sandyman's Tours. So I'm going to stop share and go to Guru Walk. I love them. Free. Somebody throw out a place that you want to oh that's right. I can't do that. Let me go back. Let me see. I'm recording, so it won't allow me to go. Okay, wait a minute. Let's see. No. Maybe. Okay, here we go. All right. Can you all see this?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to go to Guru Walk. Name a place. Nobody wants to name anything? Okay, I'll pin in.
Dubai,
Hmm?
Dubai.
Oh, Dubai. Look at you, girl. Okay. So one adult. And let me choose a date. I'm just going to say March the 20th. Okay. They have 21 free tours in Dubai. 21. The only thing is when you take these tours, you just tip the tour guide at the end and you tip at your discretion. If you don't want to tip, you don't tip. But I always tip. And this is a free walking tour, exploring Dubai's thrills and Old Town, discover ancient Dubai. Fabulous tours, guys. Free. I don't know how many of you saw the pictures that I posted when I was in Portugal, and the group of us at the end, we were sitting down having dinner together, and we had some little shot glasses, and I wasn't having a shot. Let me make that clear. It was a dinner dessert wine. Instead of dessert, they give you like a little dinner dessert wine. And so it's customary for everybody to toast and then to have that wine, right? That was the best. Getting to meet other people from other countries, and you are boots to the ground. And they will stop along the way. If you see something, it's like, hey, can we run over to the market? Yeah, let's go, and I'll tell you all about it. So, Guru Walk, free tours. You just go in and sign up. Like if I pressed on this Explore Old Dubai, click on that, gives you some pictures of, uh, past tours. And then I just go in and I sign up. And then I'll receive an email. This is my guru, Ahmed. He's going to email me or contact me on WhatsApp to say, hey, I got your reservation, just confirming. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And you will never have to pay for a tour again. The only time I had to pay for a tour is when it was way out from the city. So if I want to do something that's way out, I may have to take a taxi and meet them there, or take a tuk-tuk and meet them there. Or if I just have to, I'll go through Viator if they're offering, that same tour. And they're going to charge you, of course. It might be $40 or $50. But if I can take a tuk-tuk for $2 or $3 to get to where they are, and it's worth it. It's worth it. Okay? Free, free, free. We're talking about saving your money. Okay, so now let me go back. Can you all see the PowerPoint?
I can.
Not
Okay.
right now.
Okay, great. I didn't know if I had to do some more switching or not. So anyway, yeah, write these down. Great. All over the world. Free, free, free. All right. So, Pack Light. People cringe when I say this. And if
I
it's not,
can't I can't see the PowerPoint yet. It's still on the Guru Walk.
okay, hold on. Let me go back. Okay, can you all see the PowerPoint now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So, Pack Light. Pack light. People, airlines make their monies off of seats and luggage. You don't need 6, 7, 8 changes of clothes. I take about 3 changes of clothes plus what I'm wearing. And I will take a bar of Lye soap and I wash my stuff in the sink and I'll hang it over the shower or hang it on the balcony, or whatever. And it light stuff. It dries so quickly and I mix and match my stuff because I want to leave room in my bag for other things. But when people say things like, oh, I want to have my white shoes to wear with my blue jeans, and then I need my sandals to wear with my jumpsuit, you're paying for all of that. Now, if that's your thing and you want to do that, fine. But for me, I only need 2 pairs of shoes. The shoes I'm wearing and maybe a pair of sandals that also can serve as house slippers. You don't need all of that. Nobody's looking at you. Also, when we were in Cairo, there was a guy like right down the street from the hotel where we were staying. He was charging $2, maybe even not that much, $1 to do all your laundry. Not only would he launder it, he would press it and put it in a bag, and it would be so nice and neat. So you don't need all of that. So save money by condensing your items in a backpack, or if you can get a small carry-on, use that carry-on. Now they have those vacuum bags. If you just have to have all of that, use the vacuum bags. But if it's over the weight limit, you're still going to have to pay. So keep that in mind. I love it. The only time I've had to pay was with Wizz Airlines, and that's because I forgot to sign in online. So I had to go to the counter, and they were like, oh, you forgot to sign in. We're going to have to charge you for your bag and signing in late. And I'm like, ugh, okay. But other than that, I've never had to pay for a bag. Never. So that was $68 right there. And I was complaining. And I'm like, girl, you're doing this trip practically free. Don't complain. Okay. All right. Pack light. Currency. We're almost there. Exchange your currency at home if at all possible. Because sometimes when you go abroad, oh, the dollar? Yeah, the US dollar is strong here. So you may not get the best exchange rate when you go abroad. So go to whatever is in your area. Or Houston is the Texas Currency Exchange. You can even order currency through your bank, but you need to do it like 2 weeks in advance so you can receive it on time. Don't use your credit cards or debit cards unless absolutely necessary. Don't do it. There are so many scammers out there and so many ways that people can siphon your number. And you don't want to be in a position where you don't know where your money's going. So if you can, which is what I do before leaving, I make sure that my hotels are paid for. If I'm using my debit card, which I have to if I'm doing that online, I do all of that before I leave. But if I do get there, if it's one of those pay on arrival types, I'm giving them cash, in their currency. And don't carry large amounts of cash. If your hotel has a safe, you want to use that safe. But something that happened when we were in Cairo and Ethiopia, you cannot get Ethiopian money unless you are in Ethiopia because the return rate is just so low. It's just really bad. So I exchanged like 400 US, and I kid you not, I had a stack of money about this high in $100 bills. I was like, oh my God. She said, do you need a bag? I said, yes, I need a bag. I was nervous because it was just so much currency. And so I made sure that I converted it in Ethiopia before I came back to the States because the currency exchange had already told me they don't sell it and they will not accept it. So do your homework on that to find out where you need to get your currency. And don't stress out, oh, I'm going there and I don't have any of that particular money. You can get it when you're at the airport. Okay, so if you forget, you can always get it at the airport. But for some countries, you may not be able to get it until you make it to that country. Something else too. Keep quite a few. I would take about 50, maybe 100 US ones, $1 bills, because I'm noticing that even in Cairo, with their currency being a little strong, they still prefer the US dollar. Same thing in Ethiopia. They still prefer the US dollar. And so I wish I had had more smaller bills, but in the future, I will know that. So I'm just sharing that with you. Okay, now travel.state.gov. This is how you keep up with your travel advisories, like if there's unrest or if there's an outbreak of something, all of your visa information is going to be there, whether you can purchase a visa on arrival or whether you need to purchase a visa before you go. All that information is there. Your immunizations, and here in Houston, we have Passport Health. I don't know if they are statewide, but we have Passport Health. Something that I learned about Passport Health is they would try to sell you everything, but I only need what I need. And if I'm going to a certain region and I need yellow fever, then I just need yellow fever. And once you have the yellow fever shot, it lasts a lifetime. But all that other stuff, oh, what about typhoid? What about this? What about that? I'm not drinking the water. I'm buying bottled water, unless I'm in Europe because I can drink the water there. But some of the other places, I'm buying bottled water, so I'm not concerned about getting typhoid. And I'm going to make sure that all my food is thoroughly cooked, right? And so just things that you can do to protect yourself. So now, any questions? No questions?
Well, I came in late, so I would like, do you have, can you share the screenshots of your first 13 screens?
Yeah, inbox me your email
Okay.
and I'll send it to you.
Can you show
Okay.
that last one about if we want to support you, where we can Zelle and all of that stuff? I was
I
getting
sure
ready
will. Girl, you gotta
to
send
take a
that
picture.
word. That's my sweet cousin talking.
Sister, and I do have a quick question.
Sure.
Have you ever experienced planning your travels with Travelzoo or any of those sites, or you just kind of find it better to kind of put it all together how you've laid it out?
I put it together. I like to do it myself. And thank you for
Okay.
bringing that up because I did. Let me stop share here. And I want to try to share something, another. Uh, Maybe I can do it here. I may have to share again. Can you all see Guru Walk or do I need to share again?
We can
Yeah.
see it.
Okay, very good. Okay, so I put in a hypothetical trip, and I think most of you saw where I put on Facebook when I plugged in this trip from Houston to Tokyo, Tokyo to Seoul, back to Houston. If I plugged it in multi-city, that trip was $10,000. Did you all see that?
Mm-mm.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, it was $10,000. And so I'm like, I could take 10 or 20 trips with that. So I don't do multi-city. I will do one way at a time. So I'll go in and do a search here. And again, see, here we go. So I just clicked on dates. And we see here the low dates, right? The low
Mm.
price dates. So I'm thinking, maybe I want to leave on the second. Let's see what that one-way price is. Now that's in the summer, so it's got to be pricey because it's getting close to, we're getting close to the summer and all the summer travel, and they're trying to sell these tickets. But every now and then it'll pop up with something pretty reasonable. So let's see what happens. And also, I chose a Sunday. The price is going to be higher on a Sunday. Should have chosen a Wednesday or something, but this is just for demonstration purposes, right? Now, this is what I was referring to earlier. So I'm seeing the airlines that fly to Tokyo. And I'm going to do this because I know there are more. Okay? But we see the price increases as we continue to go that route. So what I was saying earlier is, if I go to WestJet's website, this price may be lower going directly to WestJet. So I will come out of here. I'm not going to do it now, but I would just go here and I would type in WestJet, not Kiwi WestJet. I'm going to WestJet's home site. Okay? And so I'm going to just check it. Let's say hypothetically, I'm just going to do one way. And where was it? It was Houston, right? And we're going to put in NRT, which is Narita. And let's choose a date. What date was that? August the 2nd? Okay, let's click in, put in August the 2nd and see what happens. Okay, so what was it on Just Fly? Let me go back. It was 5:35.
500 something.
535.
It was 5:35. Okay, so we
Okay.
see WestJet is 557. So it's not cheaper, right? But like I said, every now and then it is. And so you can even scroll through this and it will show you price drops, price increases, and say, oh, okay, I see on the 16th, it's only $420. So that's what I mean when I said earlier, you just have to kind of play with it and go through it and see, and then kind of work your vacation around those days, if that makes sense. All right, so that's that. I think everybody has an understanding. And then I went to the Kiwi site and I was just playing again around with the numbers. Houston to Tokyo. Let's see what they're talking about. On the 5th, August 5th, they have a ticket for $514. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? That these sites, they're going to be posting there. Let's go back to the 2nd and see what that is. See, it's 610 here. It's 535 on Just Fly. So now let's go to Skyscanner. All right, so I'm going to switch this around and I'm going to use Houston. Can you all see this? Or do
I
I need to
can.
share screen again?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. You can see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So see, here we are again. Now, on Skyscanner, you see your discount days. You know that these aren't discount days. They're probably going to be the same price as your high price or the higher price. So let's just click on the 1st and see what's happening with that date. Whoa!
Whoa.
Almost $135 difference, right?
Yes.
I'm just rounding it up. But you see what I'm talking about is that it even dropped to 408. So look at Zip Air. That is a Japanese airline. Let's go to Zip Air directly to see what they're charging. What date was that? Does anybody remember?
I think that was August the 1st.
Okay. Zip Air flights. Okay. So again, you don't want this. It'll say Zip Air flights, meaning that they're selling for Zip Air. You want to go directly to Zip Air. So let's go and see what they're talking about. Okay. So we have Houston to Tokyo. And you said that was the 5th?
I think August 1st.
The first.
Yeah, August 1st. Okay, one adult. Okay, that's April, May, June, July, and August. 408. What was it on the other site?
I think 408, wasn't it?
Okay, all right.
I
So,
think so.
all right. So no change, right? So anyway, that's how you do it. You just have to go from site to site. But remember, if I go to Kiwi or Just Fly, especially Kiwi, and if I'm using their app, this may drop another $30 or another $40. So if I choose Saturday, August, and it drops another $30, $40, that's going to bring it down to 400, 404, or maybe even lower.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let me stop sharing now. And I think that was all for that. Okay. So any other questions? So you see how you can travel on a dime, and you literally can, not on 10 cents, but you know what I'm saying, that you get to save so much and you can become your own travel agent just by, playing with the numbers and just creating your own itinerary. And so once I figured it out, I was like, okay, I see what's happening here. And so I've kind of nailed it down or narrowed it down to those 4 sites. And again, what I love about Skyscanner is if I'm in Google and I say flights using this airline, it'll show me all of them, and then I can see the all the prices to adjust that particular airline on various dates, and then compare them to the other sites. Thoughts, questions?
Annette,
Very
I have
good
a
information.
question.
Thank you, Artie.
Um, how do you check the airlines, like the the rating, like if they're safe or not? Would you go
That
to their direct website to check if they're safe?
No, you would go to the International Airline Transportation Association,
Okay,
and it has all the ratings of the airlines and their safety records.
okay. Would you repeat that again? International?
International Airline Transportation Association.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so some things that I will be, if you haven't, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And some things that I will talk about is how to even think about where you want to go, how to plan that out. If you know you're on a budget, how to maximize your $1,000, right? And I'm going to talk about being physically fit to go. Because if you go to an area that is elevated, it's hard to breathe if you're going up, and you won't enjoy yourself because you're struggling to get air. And so starting that exercise routine before you go so you won't be winded. And like in Ethiopia and some other mountainous regions, you do a lot of climbing, a lot of coming down. And so you will know the difference. Your body will know the difference right away. So preparing for that, and talking about, I'm sorry, let me just go to the PowerPoint quickly because I'm not sharing it, I don't think. But anyway, um, let's see. Yeah, getting ready before you go. And there was something else. Food. Um, I can't remember, guys, but I have about 20 shows that I already have that I'm going to put out. But traveling as a solo traveler, how to choose a group to travel with, or group planning if you and your family want to go, the best way to do that. Um, how to dress, like respecting culture. If you're going to a place where, they practice Buddhism or Hinduism, you have to be dressed a certain way. You can't turn your back on the statues. You have to wear your head covering when you go in, take your shoes off a lot. And so I hear people complaining, a lot. And so that's why I like to do solo traveling, because when you go abroad, you're not in your world anymore, right? And so you have to respect other people's cultures. Yeah, it's different from you. Yeah, they may serve fried fish with a head on or whatever, but don't act a fool because of that. Order something else. But people want to go and send stuff back, and it's not what I get at home. You're not at home. Respect the cultures. When we were in Cairo, that were these girls. I was so embarrassed. The brand new museum, they were acting a fool, scantily dressed in a Muslim country, talking loud. I said, this is so sad. So how do you prepare for the culture change and the culture shock? You have to read about it, and as I said today in the post, I like to read books about where I'm going so I can be prepared. I don't want to offend. I don't want to be seen as, oh, that American. I don't know where I was, Germany or somewhere, and this guy says, "Oh, you're an American, and you Trump is your," it was just that kind of stuff. And I said, "Well, he has his opinion, and I have mine." And I said, "I am not a bad person just because he's our president." And that changed the whole trajectory of the conversation, right? Because just like we have preconceived notions about other people, they have preconceived notions about us. Any other questions, thoughts? And if you are wanting to go somewhere, if you're thinking about going somewhere and you need some help, just let me know and I will help you put it together. We can Zoom and I can show you where to go. We can get everything that you need in order so that you will feel empowered. Now, I'm not assuming the role of the agent. I want to help you do it so that you can become familiar with doing this, right?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, I wish I had my list, and I've written everything down, but just a host of things that we don't think about when we're preparing, because all we know is we're going on vacation. But there are so many other things in it. And I think for me, the most important thing is encouraging people to go. You can do it. You can do it. I'm not a hair or nails person, so I put even my change. If I have extra change in my purse, I put it in this little what I call vacation bin. I got one of those 5-gallon jugs that water, and I just throw it in there. Just throw it in there, right? And just let it add up. And just this is my vacation money. And so it doesn't cost a lot.
Annette, I have a question.
Yes.
You can travel for 2 weeks with 4 changes of clothes.
Mhm. A whole month.
Yes.
Yeah. Washing them.
She can do it. Next. Hey,
Mhm.
just a minute. Yes, she can do it. Oh, she can do it.
Who is that?
Yeah, just oh, yeah, actually,
Oh, I don't know who that is. But anyway, yeah. And here's something else too. Just because I wore my jeans today, I didn't break a sweat. I wasn't in the dirt or dust. I can put those same jeans on tomorrow, maybe a different shirt. It doesn't bother me. But I'm not gonna wear them to where I'm smelling, or but I may wear them twice and then wash them or put them in a bin. And then some of the hotels have laundries where you could go wash for 25 cents. So I just take it all down, wash it, and wear it again.
Thanks.
You're
I
welcome.
needed that.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing I wanted to share, and I'll be talking about this on the show too. How you can travel for free. Many of A lot of countries, Sweden, parts of Africa, Italy, um, and some other places, they have opportunities for people to exchange their skills and talents for free room and board and free airline tickets. So if you're a retired teacher and you're like, hey, I want to do something, Uganda would snatch you up in a minute come, we will pay for you, we'll pay for your lodging and all of your food, and they will, bring you there to work, and you negotiate how long you want to be there, and the other places too. So I'm doing a lot of research on that. And China has country sponsored travel. And I'll show you this. A lot of people don't believe it. They think, oh, it's a scam. It's not. When I flew to China, everything included, hotel, excursions, everything for like $600, including my flight. That was one of those country sponsored tours. And that was through UTO Vacation. So let me show you that quickly. I know you're not gonna believe me, but I'm gonna show you anyway, as my grandma would say, anyway. So, and I've done it. So I'm not gonna tell you anything that I have not done and experienced. And then I'll shut my mouth because I want you all to tune into the show. Okay, so can you all see this?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is UTO Vacation. The only thing about UTO Vacation is that they require you to travel in pairs for the deep discounts. Okay, are you ready? I need a drum roll. Here we go.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
There is no catch, y'all. This is one of the country sponsors. This is how they boost the economy. Incredible China, 10 days. China and Hong Kong, $1. All right. But as I said, it requires two. Now, they include the tips and stuff like that. So when they do all of that, it may wind up being about $600 per person. That's your deposit right there, $1. You go in and they let you pay on installment. You go in, see what dates they have available. Oh, this is a $1 day. This is April 2026. So I choose the $1 day and I continue. Okay. And they do everything. They get your visas. All you do is upload your passport and other information. Look at this. I have done it. I'm not telling you anything that I have not experienced. Now, they will charge, here's this mandatory per person. All right. And that is to pay for, like your tips, all of that kind of stuff, right? I have done it. I'm not just telling you this. I have done it. And I mean, it was fabulous. It was fabulous. Now, because it is a country sponsored package, they do take you to like some sites where they encourage people to buy things. They may take you to, a jewelry factory, or they may take you to where they make all of these designer handbags and silk dresses and bedding and stuff like that. You are not obligated to buy. But again, it's to boost the economy. But I still got to go to the Great Wall. I still got to go to Beijing. I still got to go to the Grand Palace and all of that stuff for little of nothing. Little of nothing. And now they have even more. Phuket, the Yangtze River, China, 13 days here, 12 days here. So they're out there. They're out there. Okay. So there's no reason for you to not go. No reason. You just have to want to go and just go and enjoy yourself. Mary, was your hand up? You said no? Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay. Speak now. Well, I hope that you found this interesting and informative. And this is just, like I said, the tip of the iceberg. So what I'm hoping eventually is that I can take a group to somewhere. I don't know. I'll work it out. And we can do a group trip, maybe in the Philippines or Guam or somewhere. And people can prepare for it. And I can get that, like the cut rate bottom line, where we can go for $1,000 or less for a couple of weeks and island hop. That's something else too. teaching people how to use the ferries. So if you fly to Greece, you can take the ferry to the surrounding islands, Patmos, Santorino. You don't have to fly. You can just take the ferry and it'll take you to all of those islands. You can save like that. Um, and like you can take a ferry from Japan to Seoul or from Korea to Taiwan. They're all so close together. And so it goes back to maximizing your dollar and not saying, oh, I'm going to spend a week in Japan in the summer, then I'll go back and spend a week. You might as well just do it all at one time and save yourself that money. Okay? So if
I'm
you,
interested.
huh?
I'm interested in the group one. Put me down.
Okay, that's my goal for 2027 is to take us on this, and I'm also thinking about Nepal because that's on my list, Nepal and Tibet. I don't know. I have it in me to go spend a little time with the monks there because I want to see them meditate and learn some of the meditation skills, and all of that, and see how they eat and how they live to be 500 years old. So I want to go see. So that's also on the list. So again, join the YouTube, and I'm going to put it out there and say, hey, this trip is coming up, and trying to work some things out with airlines where we can get even better deals. And I know we can if we have groups of 10 or more. So I would love to do that and start building this and then teaching people along the way self-care. This is very cathartic. Even when you are planning this, I just get a kick out of it and reading the books. And I'm just in another world. I'm just so relaxed and thinking about, oh, I can't wait to get to Sri Lanka, right? And it just gives me that boost to keep going, that energy and that excitement. And so I want you to have that same excitement about going and learning and doing and just experiencing. It will change your life. And I have to say that I'm a travel addict, period. I confess. But I love it, and I know you will love it too. So anytime that you need me, oh, I have an email address. It's travel on a dime with Dr. Annette at gmail.com. Travel on a dime with Dr. Annette at gmail.com. And I'm working on Instagram and the other X, whatever it is. But again, I thank you all for joining me. And if I can help you in any way, let me know. And I just feel like this is a God-given gift to be able to do this and be able to come back and tell people about it and just be ready to go the next time. So the next trip is planned for July. And then I'll go again in December if God says the same. So I'm ready.
Thank you for sharing all this with us.
You are so welcome. You're so welcome. So
Thank you so much. Such a wealth of information.
good, good. Get ready. Get excited.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm ready.
All right. All right. Well, I look, I hear
You're
you
ready,
saying
Artie.
ready. So when I reach out, I don't want to hear no.
You won't hear it from me.
All right then, everybody. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Okay,
You too.
bye-bye.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.